Ladies, have you ever wondered why some relationships thrive while others crumble under pressure? It's not always about love or compatibility. It's often about balance, wisdom, and knowing what to share and what to keep private. In this video, we'll discuss 5 things a woman should never fully disclose in a relationship. These insights aren't about deception. They're about maintaining harmony, respect, and emotional security between you and your partner. Relationships should be built on trust, but trust does not mean full transparency at all times. It means knowing what strengthens a bond and what weakens it. Many of these ideas stem from relationship experts like Steve Harvey, but today we'll go deeper. We'll blend expert advice with real-life scenarios and psychological insights to give you practical wisdom you can use in your own relationships. Number 1, your full relationship history. The past should stay in the past. Imagine this, you're having a romantic dinner with your partner, everything is going well, and then out of nowhere, you bring up how your ex used to surprise you with vacations. Even if your partner says nothing, a seed of doubt is planted. Will they ever measure up? Will they always wonder if you're secretly comparing them to someone from your past? These thoughts can create unnecessary tension and insecurity even in the most stable relationships. Why it's best to keep this private? Discussing past relationships in excessive detail can lead to unintended consequences. While transparency is important in a relationship, oversharing about your romantic history can do more harm than good. Here's why. 1. Men are competitive by nature. Many men have a deep-seated need to feel like they are the best option for their partner. If they feel like they are in competition with someone from your past, even if that person is long gone, it can breed insecurity and resentment. This applies to women as well. Nobody wants to feel like they're constantly being compared to someone else. Number 2, some details will only create insecurity. Your partner wants to feel like they are your priority, not a replacement for someone else. If you speak too much about your exes, especially in a way that suggests they had qualities your current partner lacks, it can make them question their own worth. Love should be about building each other up, not making each other feel like they are living in the shadow of past relationships. 3. Every relationship is different. The way you loved before isn't the way you love now. People change, relationships evolve, and experiences shape the way we approach love and connection. Instead of focusing on what was, cherish what is. Your current relationship is unique and deserves to be nurtured without the baggage of the past interfering. 4. Your partner's past is also a factor. Just as you have a romantic history, so does your partner. If they were to constantly talk about their past loves, how would you feel? Probably not great. The same applies in reverse. Too much discussion of old relationships can make your partner feel undervalued or worse, insecure about your current bond. Instead of detailing past relationships, shift the conversation toward your values and preferences in a way that doesn't reference your ex's. Wrong approach. My ex always surprised me with gifts. I loved that. Better approach. I really appreciate thoughtful surprises. They make me feel valued. By framing your desires without mentioning an ex, you communicate your needs without making your partner feel like they're being measured against someone else. This keeps the focus on the present and allows your partner to engage in meaningful ways without feeling pressured. If your partner asks about your past relationships, it's okay to give a brief and respectful response, but avoid unnecessary details. Here are some strategies. Be honest, but vague. Instead of listing every past relationship, you can say, I've had relationships that taught me a lot, and I'm grateful for the experiences, but I prefer to focus on the present. Keep the focus on growth. Emphasize what you've learned rather than who you were with. My past relationships taught me the importance of communication and trust. Reassure your partner. Let them know they are the person you choose to be with now. I'm really happy with where we are and I wouldn't trade that for anything. There are some cases where sharing aspects of your relationship history can be beneficial, such as if you have children from a previous relationship, if past relationships have influenced major life choices, e.g. career moves, therapy or personal growth. If discussing past mistakes can help strengthen trust, e.g. if infidelity was an issue in a previous relationship and you want to assure your partner of your commitment to honesty. Even in these cases, the key is to focus on the facts rather than emotional comparisons. Building a stronger connection, rather than looking back, nurture your current relationship by creating new memories together. Focus on building experiences that belong uniquely to you and your partner. Expressing gratitude. Appreciate your partner for who they are, rather than who they remind you of. Being fully present. Give your partner your full attention in conversations, dates, and intimate moments. Your past relationships are part of your journey, but they don't need to be a central part of your present love life. While it's normal to have memories and lessons from previous relationships, they should serve as personal growth rather than comparisons. Keep the focus on your current relationship, appreciate your partner for who they are, and build a future together free from the shadows of the past. Number 2, your deepest insecurities. Strength attracts respect. Let's face it, everyone has insecurities. They are a natural part of being human. Whether they stem from childhood experiences, past relationships, or societal pressures, insecurities influence how we perceive ourselves and interact with others. However, how and when we reveal them in a relationship can significantly impact the dynamic between two people. Many women feel that opening up about their deepest fears and past traumas early in a relationship fosters closeness and emotional intimacy. While vulnerability is essential, timing and presentation matter. Unloading insecurities too soon can lead to an unhealthy imbalance in the relationship, where one partner is perceived as emotionally dependent or in need of rescue rather than as an equal. The key is to understand that men, like all human beings, are naturally drawn to strength and self-assurance. This doesn't mean you should hide your true self, but rather that confidence in handling your insecurities fosters respect and attraction. When you approach vulnerability with balance and self-awareness, it strengthens the foundation of your relationship rather than weakening it. Why it's best to keep certain things private. One of the most important lessons in relationships is discernment. Not everyone you date is entitled to know your deepest struggles, fears, and wounds. While some men will cherish and protect your vulnerabilities, others may use them against you, consciously or unconsciously. Trust must be built over time. When you share too much too soon, you run the risk of allowing someone who hasn't earned your trust to have power over your emotions. Instead of rushing to disclose everything, observe his character and how he responds to smaller acts of vulnerability before revealing your deeper insecurities. From an evolutionary perspective, men are wired to admire strength in a partner. This doesn't mean you have to act invulnerable or pretend you don't have emotions, but rather that emotional resilience is deeply attractive. If you come across as too emotionally dependent, he may start seeing you as a liability rather than a partner. Relationships thrive when both people support each other, but if one person appears too fragile too early, it can create a parent-child dynamic instead of a romantic one. Mystery plays a crucial role in attraction. When everything about you is laid bare too soon, it can remove the excitement of discovery. Keeping some aspects of yourself private until trust and emotional security are established allows the relationship to develop at a natural pace. Think of it like reading a great novel. If you knew every plot twist from the beginning, the excitement would fade. Similarly, revealing too much too soon can lessen the intrigue that keeps relationships exciting. A woman I once counseled, Linda, struggled with this issue. She was dating a wonderful man who treated her well, but she felt an overwhelming need to share every trauma she had experienced early in the relationship. She believed that total openness would bring them closer. At first, he was sympathetic and supportive, but over time, Linda noticed a change. He began to withdraw, becoming less engaged in conversations and more distant emotionally. Eventually, he admitted that he felt overwhelmed. Instead of seeing her as an equal partner, he started viewing her as someone who needed fixing. This dynamic drained the romance from the relationship. What began as love and attraction turned into obligation and emotional caretaking, which led to resentment. Had Linda paced her vulnerability and allowed emotional intimacy to develop naturally, the relationship might have had a different outcome. The key to sharing insecurities in a way that fosters respect and closeness is reframing how you communicate your needs. Instead of overwhelming your partner with deep-seated fears, express your emotions in a way that encourages mutual understanding without placing an emotional burden on him. Instead of, I have deep abandonment issues and I always fear people will leave me, say, I really value emotional security in relationships. It makes me feel safe and loved. See the difference? In the first statement, you are placing the responsibility of your emotional state on your partner. In the second, you are simply expressing what makes you feel secure without making it sound like a demand or a red flag. Other examples of reframing insecurities. Instead of, I have serious trust issues because of my past relationships, say, I really appreciate honesty and transparency in relationships. It helps me feel more connected and secure. Instead of, I always feel like I'm not good enough, say, I love when we support each other in becoming the best versions of ourselves. It really motivates me. Instead of, I get anxious when people don't respond to me right away, say, I really appreciate open communication. It helps me feel at ease and builds trust. These slight adjustments in wording create a massive difference in how your partner perceives your vulnerability. It allows you to express your needs without making him feel like he must solve your emotional struggles. Relationships thrive on both strength and vulnerability. The goal is not to suppress your insecurities, but to share them in a way that invites respect, understanding, and connection. When you show that you are self-aware and working on your insecurities rather than expecting someone else to fix them, you create a dynamic that fosters growth and mutual support. Here are some tips for maintaining this balance. Pace your vulnerability. Share small, meaningful pieces of yourself over time, rather than all at once. Observe his reactions. A good partner will respond with kindness and encouragement without feeling overwhelmed. Practice self-awareness. Work on your insecurities independently through journaling, therapy, or self-reflection before seeking validation from a partner. Frame your needs positively. Instead of focusing on what you lack or fear, communicate what you value in a relationship. Allow him to share too. Relationships are a two-way street. Give him the space to open up as well, creating a foundation of mutual trust and respect. Insecurities are a natural part of life, but how you handle them determines whether they become a source of connection or a barrier in your relationships. Men respect confidence, and while they appreciate vulnerability, it should be shared gradually and thoughtfully. By pacing your emotional openness, maintaining a sense of mystery, and framing your needs in a way that fosters connection rather than dependency, you create a dynamic that keeps attraction and respect alive. The most fulfilling relationships are those where both partners support each other in becoming stronger, more self-assured versions of themselves. By embracing this mindset, you not only strengthen your relationship, but also cultivate a deeper sense of self-respect and emotional resilience. Number 3, your financial details. Independence builds respect. Money plays a significant role in relationships, often becoming a source of stress and conflict. While financial honesty is crucial for a healthy partnership, revealing too much too soon can create unnecessary tension. Maintaining a level of privacy regarding your financial details is not about secrecy, but about setting boundaries and protecting your independence. Why it's best to keep this private. 1. Avoiding intimidation or insecurity. In relationships, financial disparities can sometimes lead to feelings of inadequacy. If you earn significantly more than your partner, he may feel insecure rather than proud of your success. This is particularly true for men who have been socially conditioned to see themselves as providers. Even if he is supportive, deep-seated societal expectations may cause him to question his role in the relationship. On the other hand, if you earn less, there is a risk of being viewed as financially dependent. While this may not always be the case, some men might see it as an opportunity to assert control over financial decisions, leading to an imbalance in power dynamics. 2. Avoiding being seen as a burden. Financial struggles are a reality for many people, but revealing them too early in a relationship can send unintended signals. You may be genuinely looking for emotional support, but your partner might perceive it as a plea for financial assistance. No one wants to feel like being relied upon too soon, and this can create unnecessary pressure in the relationship. Moreover, some individuals may hesitate to enter a relationship with someone facing financial difficulties, fearing they will have to take on the responsibility of fixing the situation. This can lead to premature judgments before the relationship has had a chance to develop naturally. Number 3, preventing financial manipulation. Unfortunately, not everyone enters a relationship with good intentions. Some individuals may take advantage of a partner's financial situation, whether it's wealth or financial vulnerability. If you reveal that you have substantial savings or investments, you might attract the wrong kind of attention. Conversely, if you disclose financial hardships, someone with manipulative tendencies may use it to exert control. Example, Jennifer, a successful businesswoman, once told me she made the mistake of revealing her entire financial portfolio to a man she was dating early on. Over time, she noticed he became less ambitious. Why? Because he saw her financial success as a cushion and started depending on her instead of growing himself. The dynamic shifted, and she found herself in a situation where she was carrying the weight of the relationship financially and emotionally. Had she maintained some financial privacy, the relationship might have played out differently. How to discuss finances wisely. 1. Keep conversations general. When discussions about finances arise, it's essential to keep the conversation broad and principle-based rather than overly detailed. Instead of saying, I have X amount in savings and I earn X per year, consider saying, I believe in financial independence and smart planning for the future. This allows you to share your values without disclosing specific numbers. If your partner presses for details, you can respond with something like, I'm comfortable financially and believe in living within my means. This provides assurance without over-disclosure. 2. Observe financial compatibility. First, before revealing details about your finances, it's important to assess your partner's financial attitudes. Do they live beyond their means? Do they have a responsible approach to money? Observing how they handle their own finances can help you determine whether financial discussions should progress further. For example, if your partner frequently complains about financial struggles but continues to make impulsive luxury purchases, this may indicate a lack of financial discipline. In contrast, if they demonstrate a healthy balance of spending and saving, it suggests they may be a responsible partner in financial matters. 3. Set boundaries on financial support. If a partner begins to ask for financial help early in the relationship, this is a red flag. While generosity in relationships is natural, it's crucial to avoid a pattern where one person becomes overly dependent on the other. If a partner starts expecting you to pay for everything or hints at financial difficulties in a way that suggests they want assistance, it's essential to reinforce your financial boundaries. You can say something like, I believe relationships should be based on mutual support, but I also think financial independence is important for both partners. This makes your stance clear without being confrontational. 4. Gradually build financial transparency. Financial discussions should evolve naturally as the relationship progresses. As trust develops, you can start sharing more details. If you are moving toward a serious commitment, discussing finances openly becomes essential. However, the key is to introduce financial transparency gradually rather than all at once. For instance, if you and your partner are considering moving in together or making joint financial decisions, that is an appropriate time to discuss income, expenses, and financial goals. By this stage, you should have a clear understanding of each other's attitudes toward money. 5. Align financial goals before commitment. If marriage or a long-term partnership is on the horizon, it's important to have honest conversations about financial goals. At this stage, transparency is beneficial because financial compatibility plays a crucial role in long-term relationship success. Discuss your approaches to saving, investing, and handling debts to ensure you're on the same page. However, even at this stage, it's crucial to maintain financial independence. Having separate accounts along with a shared account for joint expenses is a common strategy that allows for both transparency and autonomy. Financial discussions should be guided by trust and mutual respect. While keeping financial details private in the early stages of dating is wise, total secrecy is not the goal. Instead, the objective is to ensure financial conversations happen at the right time, in the right way, and with the right person. Here's a quick guide to maintaining the balance. Early dating. Keep financial discussions general. Avoid revealing exact numbers. Getting serious. Gradually discuss financial habits and goals. Long-term commitment. Full financial transparency with clear financial boundaries. By following this approach, you protect yourself from financial exploitation while fostering a healthy, balanced relationship built on trust, respect, and independence. Your financial situation is a deeply personal matter. While sharing financial goals and philosophies is essential for relationship growth, the key is knowing when and how much to share. Independence builds respect, and ensuring financial boundaries from the beginning sets the foundation for a relationship based on mutual trust and equality. Keep financial discussions balanced and let trust grow before revealing the details of your financial life. Number 4, your full emotional dependency. Keep your power. Many women make the mistake of believing that sharing every emotion, every struggle, and every detail of their internal world will bring them closer to their partner. The reality? It often does the opposite. While emotional intimacy is an essential part of a healthy relationship, full emotional dependency can create an unhealthy dynamic. Relying too much on your partner for emotional support can lead to imbalance, resentment, and even emotional exhaustion for both partners. Understanding the delicate balance between emotional openness and self-reliance is key to maintaining your personal power and fostering a healthier relationship. In modern relationships, there's a fine line between emotional closeness and emotional overdependency. Women are often encouraged to express their feelings openly, but few discussions focus on when and how to share emotions in a way that strengthens rather than weakens a connection. Here are some critical reasons why you should maintain emotional independence. 1. Men don't want to feel responsible for your emotional well-being. Men, just like women, have their own emotional struggles. While a loving partner wants to be there for you, being your sole emotional pillar can feel like a burden. If he constantly feels responsible for your happiness and emotional stability, it can lead to emotional burnout and even resentment. Instead of making him the center of your emotional world, strive for emotional self-sufficiency. Men appreciate a woman who can manage her emotions without relying entirely on them. When you have control over your emotional state, your partner sees you as a source of strength rather than a source of stress. 2. Over-reliance can be overwhelming and push him away. Think of relationships like a scale. If too much weight is placed on one side, the balance shifts and tension builds. If you frequently vent your frustrations, insecurities, or emotional struggles without working on solutions, your partner may start to feel emotionally drained. Many men are problem solvers by nature. When they hear about an issue, their instinct is to fix it. But some emotions, like sadness or self-doubt, don't have easy solutions. If a man feels powerless in solving your problems, he may become frustrated or even start avoiding deep conversations altogether. Maintaining emotional balance means recognizing when to seek support and when to handle things independently. You don't have to keep everything bottled up, but you also shouldn't expect your partner to serve as your emotional therapist. Number 3, strength and resilience are attractive. Men and people in general are drawn to strength. A woman who can navigate her emotions, face challenges head-on, and cultivate resilience is naturally appealing. When you maintain emotional independence, you project confidence and inner peace, 2 qualities that are incredibly attractive in a partner. This doesn't mean you should suppress your emotions. Rather, it means cultivating the ability to process your feelings in a healthy way before bringing them into your relationship. Being emotionally mature and self-aware makes you a stronger partner and creates a foundation for deeper, healthier connections. Finding the right balance between emotional sharing and emotional self-reliance requires intentional effort. Here are some ways to maintain your emotional independence while still fostering a close, connected relationship. 1. Develop self-care strategies. Instead of relying on your partner as your emotional outlet, build your own self-care toolkit. These tools help you process emotions effectively so that you can approach your relationship from a place of emotional stability rather than emotional neediness. Here are some self-care methods to strengthen your emotional independence. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you gain clarity and process emotions before bringing them to your partner. Therapy or counseling. Speaking with a professional can provide deep insights into your emotions and help you develop healthy coping mechanisms. Meditation and mindfulness. Learning to sit with your emotions without reacting impulsively can strengthen your ability to regulate feelings on your own. Physical activity. Exercise is a great way to release stress and improve emotional well-being. Activities like yoga, walking, or dancing can help you feel more balanced. 2. Share but focus on solutions, not just problems. When you do open up to your partner, try to focus on constructive communication. Instead of merely venting about a problem, consider discussing potential solutions or simply sharing how you're working through it. For example, instead of saying, "I feel so overwhelmed and lost and I don't know what to do," try saying, "I've been feeling overwhelmed, but I'm trying to figure out how to manage it better. Do you have any advice, or can you just listen for a bit?" This approach shows emotional intelligence. It acknowledges your feelings while also demonstrating personal responsibility for your emotions. Number 3, cultivate a support system outside of your relationship. Relying on a single person for emotional support is risky. Instead, cultivate friendships, family connections, and social groups where you can share your thoughts and experiences. Having a strong support system outside your romantic relationship ensures you're not placing all your emotional needs on one person. Talk to a trusted friend when you need a listening ear. Join a support group or community related to personal growth. Engage in hobbies or activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. When you have multiple sources of support, your partner won't feel the weight of carrying your emotional burdens alone, and your relationship will feel lighter and healthier. 4. Practice emotional self-regulation. Learning to manage emotions internally is a powerful skill. It means recognizing when emotions arise, understanding their root causes, and working through them without overreacting. Pause before reacting. When strong emotions surface, take a moment to breathe before responding. Label your emotions. Simply identifying what you're feeling, e.g. frustration, sadness, insecurity, can help you process them more effectively. Ask yourself, how will I feel about this in a week, a month, or a year? This helps put emotions into perspective. When you can regulate your emotions, your partner will see you as emotionally mature and dependable rather than emotionally unstable. Maintaining emotional independence doesn't mean shutting your partner out or suppressing feelings. It means learning how to process emotions in a way that enhances, rather than burdens, your relationship. By keeping your emotional world balanced, you become a more confident and self-assured person. Strengthen your relationship by avoiding emotional overload. Foster deeper connection through healthy, balanced sharing. Cultivate personal resilience, which benefits all areas of your life. Emotional closeness is important, but true intimacy is built on mutual respect, emotional stability, and self-awareness. When you learn to manage your emotions independently while still maintaining a strong connection with your partner, you keep your personal power intact, and that's one of the most attractive qualities you can bring into a relationship. Number 5, your exact expectations for the future. Let the relationship evolve. In any romantic relationship, having long-term goals is essential. They provide direction and help both partners understand what they want in the future. However, there's a fine line between having clear goals and overwhelming a partner with rigid expectations. Revealing every single expectation too soon can create unnecessary pressure and, in many cases, scare men away. Instead of trying to control every outcome, it's crucial to allow the relationship to evolve naturally, fostering an organic connection that feels authentic and balanced. While it may be tempting to lay out all your hopes and dreams for the relationship early on, doing so can backfire. Here's why it's better to keep some of your expectations to yourself initially. 1. Relationships need space to grow naturally. Love and commitment flourish when both partners feel free to express themselves without feeling boxed into predefined roles or timelines. When you allow a relationship to develop organically, both people have the opportunity to build trust and emotional security at a comfortable pace. Two, too many expectations early on create anxiety. Expressing strong expectations too soon can make a partner feel like they're being evaluated rather than appreciated for who they are. If a man feels that he must meet a checklist to be worthy of your love, it may cause him to withdraw emotionally. But three, it's better to show than tell. Words can be powerful, but actions carry even greater weight in a relationship. Instead of explicitly stating your long-term goals too early, let your actions and behaviors naturally communicate your values and desires. When a man sees how you handle challenges, express love, and navigate life, he will develop a deeper understanding of what a future with you might look like. Guiding a relationship towards a meaningful future without overwhelming your partner requires subtlety, patience, and emotional intelligence. Here's how you can do it effectively. 1. Frame conversations around values, not timelines. Instead of saying, I want to be married within 2 years, have 3 kids, and live in X city, say, I love the idea of a strong, long-term partnership built on trust and shared values. This approach communicates your priorities and what truly matters to you without imposing a strict schedule on your partner. It also allows him to reflect on whether his values align with yours naturally. Encourage organic discussions about the future. Rather than initiating heavy conversations about marriage, children, and long-term plans right away, bring up topics naturally as the relationship progresses. For instance, if you're watching a movie where a couple is discussing their future, you can casually ask, what's your take on that? How do you see relationships evolving? If you're attending a wedding, you might say, this is beautiful. What do you think makes a marriage strong? These conversations open the door for future discussions without feeling like an interrogation. 3. Let your actions set the tone. If you value commitment and long-term planning, demonstrate it through your actions. Show consistency, reliability, and emotional depth in the way you handle the relationship. When a man sees these qualities in you, he will naturally begin to think about what a future together might look like without feeling pressured to decide immediately. 4. Be open to adjustments. One of the biggest mistakes in relationships is holding on to a rigid vision of the future without considering that life is unpredictable. While it's important to know what you want, it's equally vital to be flexible and open to different possibilities. This adaptability allows for growth and prevents frustration when things don't go exactly as planned. The key to maintaining a healthy balance between having relationship goals and allowing things to unfold naturally lies in emotional intelligence. Here are some ways to achieve that balance. 1. Focus on the present moment. Instead of constantly thinking about what's next, enjoy the stage of the relationship you're in. When you're fully present, you'll build stronger memories and deepen your emotional bond. 2. Observe his actions, not just his words. Rather than getting caught up in what he says about the future, pay attention to his behaviors. If he is consistently making an effort to spend time with you, introducing you to important people in his life, and prioritizing your well-being, he is showing commitment without needing to explicitly state it. 3. Avoid ultimatums. One of the most damaging things you can do in a relationship is issue ultimatums. Saying something like, if we're not engaged in a year, I'm leaving, creates unnecessary tension. Instead, communicate your needs calmly and express your desires in a way that invites discussion rather than confrontation. 4. Set personal goals outside of the relationship. While it's natural to think about the future of your relationship, it's just as important to have personal goals and aspirations. When you focus on your own growth, whether in career, health, or personal development, you bring a sense of fulfillment and confidence into the relationship. This makes you more attractive and creates a balanced dynamic where both partners contribute equally. When is the right time to discuss the future? While keeping expectations private in the early stages is beneficial, there does come a time when discussing the future is necessary, when that time is right. When you've established emotional security. If you and your partner trust each other and feel safe discussing deeper topics, It's a sign that you can start discussing long-term goals without fear of pushing him away. When the relationship is naturally moving forward, if he is already making long-term plans with you, like discussing vacations months in advance or talking about moving in together, it's a good indication that he's thinking about the future too. When you're at a crossroads, if an important decision, like relocating for a job or making a big financial commitment, is approaching, it's appropriate to discuss how it fits into your shared future. When you feel uncertain about where things are headed, if you've been dating for a significant amount of time and aren't sure if you're on the same page, having a conversation about expectations can provide clarity. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, relationships still require patience, trust, and gradual development. While having long-term goals is important, revealing too many expectations too soon can create pressure and distance. The best approach is to focus on shared values, guide the relationship organically, and allow love to evolve naturally. By doing so, you not only protect your emotional well-being, but also create a foundation for a strong, lasting partnership built on mutual understanding and respect. Ladies, the key to a lasting and fulfilling relationship isn't just love, it's wisdom, balance, and knowing when to hold back. True love flourishes when it is nurtured with mutual respect, understanding, and emotional security. While honesty is important, maintaining a sense of personal boundaries ensures that your relationship remains strong and resilient. Keeping certain things private isn't about deception. It's about protecting the emotional, financial, and psychological foundation of your partnership.